Behold, the power of teas. Whether you want to get the competitive edge over your enemies in Rust or be able to progress quicker in the game, teas are your shortcut for getting you there. They provide so much value to the player, it would be stupid not to take advantage of them. From doubling your resources that you gather to giving you more health than your opponent, this is something that you cannot ignore. In today's video, I'll be showcasing the use of teas in Rust as well as where and how you get them. Now, to find the necessary items, it's going to require a little bit of grinding, but not to fret, I've got you covered with all the necessary steps to take. This is the ultimate guide to teas in Rust. Now enough talking, let's get into the video. Finding berries. You can find them in the grassy areas and forest biomes within Rust. You can usually find these berry bushes alongside mushrooms and potatoes. Different varieties of berries exist, each with their own colour. Let's go through the different types of coloured berry bushes that we have. Let's start with the red berry bush. And then we have the blue, the green, yellow and white. Look out for berry bushes which are larger than potato plants but are still smaller than shrubs. They spawn randomly and there isn't a specific location to find any one colour of berry bush. Now, picking a berry bush grants you berries as well as the seeds for that specific bush. These seeds can be planted in a planter box and clippings can be taken from that bush to create your own farming system. If you're interested in creating your own automatic farming system, you can click up in the top right corner right now and it will link you to my automatic farming video. Alright, enough of the talking, let's get into the video. Now the first item that you'll be needing is a tier 1 workbench so you can unlock the mixing table. To go about unlocking the mixing table, you can do this a few ways. You can either find it at a monument within a box, even though the percent of finding it is low, it is still possible. Or you can visit Bandit Camp and go to the food shop within Bandit Camp and purchase it for 175 scrap. And then what you want to do from there is go to the research bench and research that mixing table for 75 scrap, and then you'll be able to craft it at a level 1 workbench for 200 metal frags and 100 stone. That would be my recommendation to get started. Now before we get any further into this video, I need to cover some basic facts about all teas. All types of teas have 3 different tiers. You have the basic, advanced and pure. Now the basic tea is always going to require berries to craft, while the advanced and pure are going to require actual teas to craft. So for the advanced tea, it's always going to require 4 basic teas to create 1 advanced, and so on and so forth with the pure. Now pure is the highest tier of tea that you can craft, so you can't craft anything above that. To craft a pure tea, you're going to need 4 advanced teas. This is how you craft teas. Alright, let's get back to the recipes of these teas and their effects. Alright, let's start with the healing tea. The healing tea is a tea that will heal your health points over a period of time. Let's start with the basic healing tea. The basic healing tea requires 4 red berries to craft and it provides you with 30 plus hydration and 30 plus health over time. The next tea on the list is the advanced healing tea. This tea also restores health over time, but it provides you with a bit more. It gives you 30 plus hydration points still, but 5 plus instant health and 50 plus health over time. Now this is the tea that I would recommend going for if you want to craft one of this category. But the best tea in this category is the pure healing tea. This tea here still gives you 30 points of hydration, but it gives you 10 instant health as well as 75 health over time. Now the amount of berries that you would need to be able to craft the pure tea are 64 berries, which is 4 advanced teas. And the amount of berries that you would need to craft an advanced tea is 16. Alright, now let's talk about the max health tea. Let's start with the basic max health tea first. This max health tea temporarily increases your max health. Now, the basic tea will give you 30 plus hydration and increase your max health by 5% for 20 minutes. So instead of your typical 100 health, you now have 105. And the required items to craft this tea are 3 red berries and 1 yellow berry. Alright, let's go over the advanced variant for this tea. The advanced max health tea gives you the current buffs, 30 plus hydration and 12.5% increase on your max health for 20 minutes. Now, let's go over the required items to be able to craft that tea. As you've already probably guessed, yes, you do need 4 basic max health teas. Like I said in the start of this video, to be able to craft any successor to the previous tea, you are going to need 4 of the previous. So if I wanted to craft 4 pure teas, you're going to need 4 advanced. Now let's move on to the benefits of the pure max health tea. it still only gives you 30 plus hydration, but it increases your previous 12.5% increase on your max health to a whopping 20% increase on your max health. This gives you 20 more health points than your opponents, as long as they're not having a tea too. We will probably know the required items to be able to craft that tea are 4 advanced max health teas. Alright, moving on to the Ortiz. The Ortiz is my personal favourite because when I like to play on vanilla servers, it helps me increase the amount of ore that I can farm per hour substantially. Just the basic tea alone gives you a 20% buff, not to mention the pure tea, but we'll get to that soon. Alright, the first few things that you will need to be able to craft the basic Ortiz are 2 yellow berries and 2 blueberries. Alright, the buffs for the basic Ortiz are 30 plus hydration and 20% yield on all ores for 30 minutes. That is insane. For how little this here costs to create, it is totally worth getting. Moving on to the advanced Ortiz. The advanced Ortiz gives you the same 30 plus hydration, but gives you a 15% increase on top of the 20% that you get on the basic, totaling to a whopping 35% increase in ore yield for 30 minutes. That there is insane to think about. You can get 35% more ore from every type of node just for the low cost of 8 yellow berries and 8 blueberries, or 4 basic Ortiz. Time for the pure Ortiz. This is one of my personal favourite. This one here gives such a big increase in farm on ores that it is 100% worth grinding for. This Ortiz gives you the same 30 plus hydration as all the other teas, but it gives a whopping 50% increase in ore yield. Now this here is insane, especially on a vanilla and a low time server. To be able to craft this behemoth of a tea, you need 32 yellow berries and 32 blueberries, or 4 advanced Ortiz. Alright, I'm going to quickly brush over Rad Teas because I personally feel that they are completely useless within the game. If you have the time to be able to go and collect all of these berries and the equipment necessary to craft them, I personally believe that you have enough time to be able to craft the clothing to be able to get into these rad zones regardless. Anyways, let's begin with the recipe for these basic rad removal tea. The basic rad removal tea requires 2 red berries and 2 green berries. The buffs that it gives you are 30 plus hydration, plus 5% rad damage resistance for 30 minutes, and plus 50% rad exposure resistance for 5 minutes. The advanced anti-rad tea. Now this here requires 4 basic anti-rad teas to craft, and the buffs that it gives you are 30 plus hydration and 15% rad damage resistance for 30 minutes. Now, the pure anti-rad tea, a tea that reduces the amount of health loss due to radiation. Wow! This here gives you 30 plus hydration and 25% rad damage resistance for 30 minutes, as well as 50% rad exposure resistance for 5 minutes. Again, I personally believe that these teas are completely useless, but if you find a use for them in game, please leave a comment down below. Alright, now it's time to cover the wood tea. The basic wood tea is probably my second go-to tea after the ore tea. The boost in stats that it gives you is also insane for the little cost that it requires. The effects of this tea are 30 plus hydration and 50% more wood yield for 30 minutes. That is crazy, for only 2 red berries and 2 blueberries. Moving on to the advanced wood tea. Now, let's just start with what you need to craft it. You need 4 basic wood teas. As we know what that already cost, I'm not going to go over that again. Now, the boost in stats that this gives you is also quite insane. It gives you 30 plus hydration and 100% wood yield for 30 minutes. So if you chop down one tree and get 1000 wood, you get 2000. That is crazy. This here is a perfect tea for early wipe. Moving on to the pure wood tea. The pure wood tea requires 4 advanced wood teas to craft, and the boost in stats that it gives you is 30 plus hydration plus 200% wood yield for 1 hour. Now that there is an insane boost for the teas. I highly recommend getting that one, everybody. Moving on to the scrap teas. The scrap teas are especially useful early on in wipe when you're just starting to unlock your BPs and you need every little bit of extra scrap that you can gather. Alright, let's start with the basic scrap tea. What you need to be able to craft this tea is 2 yellow berries and 2 white berries. Now, the benefits of this tea are going to be 30 plus hydration and 100 plus scrap yield for 30 minutes. So that means if you go up to a barrel and break it, instead of getting the regular 2 scrap, you now get 4. That is really good, guys, and this can add up extremely quick. Moving on to the advanced scrap tea. Now what you need to craft the advanced scrap tea is 4 basic scrap teas. Now, let's move on to the benefits of this one. You get 30 plus hydration as well as 225% scrap yield for 45 minutes. That is so good. Highly recommend this one, guys. It's going to definitely be beneficial early on in wipe. Alright, now it's time for the big kahuna, the pure scrap tea. This one's going to give you a whopping 350% increase in your scrap yield for 1 hour and plus 30 hydration, and what you need to craft this one is 4 advanced scrap teas. Alright guys, and that's going to do it. A basic rundown of all of the teas in Rust, as well as a guide on the mixing table and how to get it. Now, I hope everybody found this video extremely useful, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. I've got a ton of other videos on my channel, so go check one of those out. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.